Paintball nerd.
Today's guest on Paintball Nerd's Fun 5 interview has been playing paintball since 1991. In 1993, he became one of the founding fathers of Team Strange, took the team pro in 2002, and played with them until the end. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, William BJ Jolley. What's up,
How's it
BJ?
going, Isaac? How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. It's a
Yeah,
pleasure to have you on. A lot of people have been asking for you.
that's that's really cool. I said before that it's nice to know that you left a mark. When you were doing anything in your life, when you're surrounded by people, and yeah, it's nice to be here. I'm glad you contacted me. It's nice to know that, like I said, you left a mark, and um, that I'm one of the few East Coast guys. I've checked out your page and your channel, and not too many East Coast guys, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about how Team Strange started back in '93.
Um. Wow. A long time ago. Yeah. Basically, I started playing paintball in this little indoor range and indoor field, and played for, I don't even know, a year or something. And there was a guy who showed up one night and was playing. He had a lot of money. You know how that goes, and
Sure.
he was around for a little bit, and he opened up a store. And at one point, he asked me to go play a local 5-man, and he's like, "I'll give you a case of paint." And of course, back then, that was,
Oh yeah.
yeah, sure, let's go, free paint,
Yeah, it's like
and
120 bucks.
yeah, yeah, and he basically started the team with me and three other guys. He raced, drag raced on the side, and apparently there
Hmm.
is a axle company called Team Strange Axles. So he named the team
Ah,
Team Strange, yeah, because he had a bunch of T-shirts and stickers laying around. So he's like, "Oh, we'll be Team Strange." And eventually, he kind of faded away, and I pretty much just kind of kept it going from there for the most part.
who kept it going with you?
So I once he kind of faded away, um, there was another field that I was playing at, and the owner's son was Joey Blue, and so I was around him a lot. I was a store rat. I was down at the
Yeah.
paintball store, whenever I wasn't playing, and he ran it a lot of the times. He'd watch the store, so um, we started doing, small things. We picked up a couple guys and we started doing small tournaments, and it was all really just a part of doing something different in paintball. Like there was no type of aspirations of doing anything outside of that. Local
Hmm.
things and just having fun with the people that were there. And that's really, yeah, the very base beginning of what it eventually came to be. Yeah.
And then in 2002, you guys went pro, and before that, BJ, Strange was known for a different type of paintball. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Um, uh, Explain. Small explanation.
Well, so, and this could be my opinion, and
Yeah, yeah,
maybe not, but I remember Strange being the team that, above all other teams, could lock down a field. There were
yeah,
crosses everywhere, and those crosses were extremely difficult to break. You guys
yeah.
didn't miss very much.
Right.
Um, so I remember that in the amateur days when you guys were playing 7 and 10 men, but I also remember it when you went pro in X ball. Uh, Being able to slow down the pace of X ball. X ball was very go 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 go,
Yeah,
and you guys were able to win. You guys were able to win tournaments by locking it down and slowing things down, communicating, and I mean that's what I remember. But
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong.
No, no, you're right. I when we started, so once we started gathering the people that eventually became the professional team, We grabbed a couple of people from the Palm Beach Predators, and then there was 3 younger guys that we picked up from a local amateur team, Fast Mike, Dirty Dave, and Mikey Nicholson. And that's really when we had the 10 or 12 guys. So once we had that and we knew we had guys that could, be competitive and started practicing, I would start, I was, I would watch teams. And so I don't know if you know, but so I was the on-field captain, right?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. And Paul Alders was the off-field captain. So he dealt with the sponsors, the money, the hotel rooms, the plane tickets, and I was basically the guy underneath the net. That was where I was supposed to kind of handle things, if for a lack of a better term. But
on the field, you're making the decisions.
Yeah, who gets to play, what we're going to do on the field, this and that. And I honestly don't even know how that came to be. Maybe nobody else wanted to do it. Who knows? But that was my job. So I literally would watch every game I could watch. I didn't have a necessarily favorite team, but I would watch all the teams. And I've always been a big fan of Bruce Lee, and his motto is "Be like water," right? So I would, yeah, and I would literally try and pick out things from an individual team that they did the best, and I thought that if I could combine those in a style and just be fluid. And a lot of that, when we were amateur, we did a lot of that. As we turned pro, we definitely developed more of a style, like you were talking about. And a lot of it was, for me, when I think about it, a lot of it was when I watched pro teams play in the prelims. They would play the fields totally different than when they did in the finals. And every time I watched the finals, they were all playing a very slow, methodical game. And so that's what I went with. I'm like, why, we should be playing like that all the time.
Example, I remember that, BJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, I remember playing against you guys and there being pre-game talks, pre-game meetings, pre-game discussions, like, do not just cowboy up and run down the field against Strange. Do not just think that you see an opening and go against Strange. You work with someone, make sure that you the back center is put in or someone is put in before you try and go against Strange, because you guys locked up the field so well.
Yeah, that was, I would say that as far as locking the field up, and that was a big thing. That took a while it actually took a while to get down. Because when we were amateur, there was things that would happen that we would learn from, obviously. One thing that was a big experience was, it was World Cup, it was in Orlando, and we missed the cut by 2 points. So whatever it was, 1 kill here, 1 kill there. And I mean, we were just crushed. And so that was a learning experience for me. One of the things that we made a change then was, when you're closing out a game, everybody wants to go bunker the last guy, right?
Yeah.
They want to get that in. The last guy, there's 6 guys barreling down on him. Everybody's racing to go get him. And after that, after we missed a cut by 2 points, I'm like, look, why are we doing that?
Inch him out.
We're taking the chance on losing that guy just for a little bit of glory. And it took a while to get the guys not to do that, because everybody wants to do it, right?
It's
so
fun.
That was a little bit of exactly. That was a little bit of a turning point, and as well as locking those lanes down. That, because it's not like, you talk about things, what you want to try and do, and they don't just happen. You got to work at them.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that was one thing that we had to work on. Is like, we would dedicate 1 or 2 guys. It's like, okay, you're going to go to this spot, and you're not going to do anything but shoot to the right side at these 2 spots or this lane, and you're not going to look left at all. You're going to die in that spot looking that way. And it was hard to get the guys to commit to that, because they want to look around, they want to get kills, right?
Exactly.
That was
Yeah, there's a
two big things that we implemented that were once they did, that started to kind of set the disciplined aspect of our style, I guess, if you want to put it that way.
that I think that's the perfect word, BJ, disciplined, because it's one
Yeah.
thing to say, all right, it's your job to lock down this side of the field, but to commit to that and keep your gun that way, because you know, at times you can get antsy doing that. You can get
Yep.
bored doing that. But recognizing and having the discipline to do your job and hold that lane, and not only that, make the shot when the shot happens.
Yeah.
That's another thing that requires the discipline. So
Yeah.
in this context, you mentioned be like water. So
Hmm.
in the context of paintball, how would you define being like water?
Just, I mean, it's like, yeah, being fluid, as a team, just not being predictable. I mean, X ball has really, there's not a lot you can do with it.
Hmm.
When it was 10 man, there was a lot more you could do with the field. You could try
Oh
different
yeah,
things. X ball, there obviously you can do different things, but once everybody gets the field dialed in and their shots dialed in, it's a lot harder to do those things. Um, but yeah, just be predictable, um, or sorry, unpredictable.
yeah,
It's hard to do because especially if you find something that works, you can be nervous about shying away from that. And I
sure.
always thought we did a good job at that. But I remember Rich Telford one time come up to me in a practice, and this was kind of when Strange was falling apart, and we were practicing, and he's like, I told my guys after you lost those 2 points in a row, I told them to push harder, and we started taking the 50s. And he's like, because I know when you lose a game, you back off, and he was right.
Hmm.
And it was it was a blow to my ego, whatever you want to call it, but he
Sure.
was right, absolutely. And because I had created a pattern, and that was always something I didn't want to do, but he was right. We'd lose a game, and I'd put more guns up, more guns
So he
off the
did you a
break.
favor, really,
Yeah,
by
no, he
telling
really
you.
did. Yep, yep, for sure.
Yeah, I interviewed Rich, and I also interviewed Joey Blute.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and Dirty Dave is on the list too. So
yeah. Hmm.
got to get some more of your boys on here.
Yeah.
But BJ, I mean, you've got an amazing career. Strange has racked up a ton of wins. Tell us about a memory that really stands out for you in paintball.
Ooh. I watched some of your earlier stuff from some of the guys, and I thought about this. I wanted to give a good answer. But yeah, really, there's one obviously that stands out, and it's probably one of the best memories, and also one of my, I wouldn't say worst memories, but more of a regret, or a, I don't know what you call it. Just something that wasn't a good time that happened
Mm,
simultaneously at the best time, and it was obviously Atlantic City. Um, you know, we won that one. That was our first pro win, in 10 man. And Paul and I talked about it later, that our whole goal, the whole mission, being a professional team, and what you're striving to be, and everybody, oh, we're going to get on TV, we're going to make all this money, blah, blah, blah. And really, once you turn pro and you get to that level, winning that first one, once you've done that, and he said it to me, he's like, we accomplished our goal. We
mm,
fulfilled our dream, and that was it. Everything after that's just, gravy on the biscuits, so.
yeah.
But that one obviously stands out. We played Dynasty in the last game, um, top of the ninth, tied score. All the marbles. Um, so yeah, that was obviously memorable. But the downside to that game in particular was, as I said, I was the on field voice, the on field coach, captain, whatever, and so I had to decide who sat, and we had
Mm,
11 guys, so I had to make the decision on who sat. And it came down to Rob Peterson and Mark Davis. We had one extra back guy. We had four guys that could all play the back really well, and that decision had to be made. And Rob was one of those guys. I ended up sitting Rob. And Rob was one of those guys who put the team first every time. He
Mm,
was one of the original members, right there with Joey Blue. I played with him on a team before, I want to say about the same time we were doing the thing with the drag racing guy, you know, and he's been around forever. And like I said, he always put the team first, never missed a practice, never complained. Um, he even sat himself at a tournament once because he knew that the other five guys would have a better chance. And I had that decision to make. I made the best one at the time that I thought was best, our best chance to win. Um, and it turns out we ended up winning, and I basically took Rob's first, professional win from him. And I think about
yeah.
it, and it sucks. It does. We could have lost.
Well,
It could have went either
you made the
way.
right decision, though. I mean,
Well,
right? I mean,
yeah.
you ended up
I mean,
winning.
you can say that, but I could have put Rob in, and we still could have won. Like it was that. You know what I mean?
That's the
So
thing
it,
about
it
these
just.
situations is
No, I
you just
know.
don't know.
Yeah,
You
I
just
know.
don't know.
Yeah,
But
but
you walked
that
away
was
with the
hard.
W.
Yeah, that
But
was hard.
I can tell that there's some obviously there's some emotion that went into how you're feeling now, right?
Yeah.
In the moment, you're thinking more logically, like this is how we're going to get the W.
Yep.
And then after the fact, after years of wisdom and experience, now it's kind of chirping in your ear a little bit, like,
Oh
he's my
yeah.
buddy. Did I make the right decision?
Yeah.
So, we can't always bat 1,000 on
No.
decisions like that. But
No,
obviously, you
you can't.
guys won. So, tell me about that game. Tell me about a moment in that game that stood out for you.
Um, I got two. So right at the beginning. So were you at that tournament? Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Dirty Dave had gotten suspended earlier in the tournament for 3 games. So we played
For
3 games with only 9 guys, and the game his suspension ended was that game, and so he got
what did he
back
get
put back
suspended
in.
for?
He put his hands on, it was LB or Travis Lemansky. I think it was Travis Lemansky. He like touched him or
Okay.
something. I don't know, and it was a big to do, and so whatever. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was it was a little silly, but you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he it was his first game back, and he didn't last 30 seconds. So we definitely teased him about it after that. Made obviously made jokes, um, but obviously the other thing, yeah, it was the last, I don't know, a couple minutes of the game. We originally had a plan to take ground, but they shut us down. We had Mikey
Hmm.
in a spot to make a quick bump, and we had Brian Saponaro, same thing on the other side of the field, and they couldn't move. They got in and they just shut us down. They're because we talked about it after the game. And they're like, dude, there was a wall of paint. I wasn't going anywhere, and blah 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 blah. So they did a
Yeah.
good job on taking the ground quickly and shutting us down from getting that secondary. Um, and yeah, they shot a bunch of us. We shot some of them. And I think the final count was like a 5-on-3.
Hmm.
Yeah, 5-on-3. And they sent Glenn Forrester up the middle to try and come get me. Paul and Mark chewed him up. And then it was 4-on-3. And eventually I ended up shooting Brad Mon. I just barely clipped his loader. And as soon as I saw him walk out, I stood up. I heard, which turned out to be Skinny Kevin, was right in front of me, which I didn't know until I stood up. And I heard him shooting the other way. And I made a quick bump, shot him in the big toe, and then turned and shot the last 2 guys. And the rest is history. So,
Closed it out.
yeah. So that was obviously a good memory. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever a player shares these memories with me, it's like I can't help but put myself in the scenario and feel that too, because I know what that feels like. I know what
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
feels like to
Yeah.
be on the brink of winning, and a body drops, and you smell blood in the water, and you start to go
Mm-hmm.
for it. So yeah, I love those stories, and that's one of the reasons I asked that question.
Yeah.
BJ,
And
how about
the
favorite teammate? Who's your favorite teammate?
teammate
Yeah.
or player?
Oh, I'll get to that one. I'll get to your favorite
Okay,
player to
teammate.
watch too, but just teammate. Yeah.
Yeah, teammate. I don't know, man. I don't. The only people I even have contact with is Rob Peterson and Paul Alders. Everybody else is kind of
Okay.
doing their own thing, and I know some of the guys play. And still talk to Timmy Prost. And Timmy
Oh, I just
does.
saw Timmy.
Yeah, he does some stuff at the end of the year with a lot of the older guys and stuff. And I'm not. It's just not there. You know, I don't. He
Well, who
wants me to
was
come
your
out and
favorite
play.
teammate back in the day?
Man, that's a tough one. Probably
You can
Mike
drop a couple
Carthy.
names.
Mike Carthy.
Oh, Carthy. Yeah,
Yeah,
Carthy's amazing.
because even though he was a young guy and he was new, as far as playing around me and with us and whatever, but he taught me a lot. He really did. He taught me drills. Like I remember that he had a stick figure in his backyard, 2x4s, and he would sit behind this lawn chair and snap shoot it. And I'm like, you do that? Like I was amazed. I'm like, yeah, I sit here for like an hour. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, yeah. But he turned out to be one of the best. He taught me how to one shoot, snapshot, a good snapshot. And he taught
Yeah.
himself. Back then we didn't have anything. We learned on our own. We experimented, we tried, we lost, we figured things out. And he
Yeah.
taught me a lot. Yeah.
Carthy was my favorite player on Strange, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And
Next
he was
next to you,
super
BJ, of course.
super mellow. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, super mellow, never a mean word,
Yep.
super good dude. So, and I haven't talked to him a while, so it sucks,
Yeah,
but
I haven't seen him in forever.
yeah, yeah, I don't even know what he's up to now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
How
around
about
a
player
lot.
to watch? Who's your favorite player to
Player to
watch?
watch. I never really like once we once I got into the realm of on the circuit and all that. Like when I was before the circuit and we got on to amateur and all that, I would I would do like Marty Bush. I saw him on
Yeah.
ESPN one time, and he was out there running his gator, just talking trash, and that was cool. It was funny, I'm like, this guy's crazy. But once I got
Yeah.
into the circuit, it wasn't about individuals anymore. It's about a team. So I would watch teams
Mm.
and figure out what they're doing different, what they're doing good, what they're doing bad. And if I had to pick a favorite team at the time, it probably would have been Lockout.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah,
good one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They were
What did you like
grimy.
about yeah, grimy?
Yeah, they were grimy. They did it. They were it turned out we did similar to them. Like they built the team on their own. They didn't have a big money guy backing them. They paid for a lot of the stuff themselves. They did it all on their own, and that's something I look back on now, and to me that's a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
So
Certainly.
yeah,
Yeah, and they wore the cotton pullovers. They didn't have real jerseys. They had like the
yeah,
cotton
yeah,
pullovers, which are super awesome today, like if you can find one of those.
yeah.
It's
I still have
that's what I thought about.
Timber Ghost top. I still got one.
Nice.
Yeah,
Is that what would you say is your most coveted piece of paintball memorabilia?
I don't have a lot left. I've got a couple jerseys, um, some of the original cotton black with the white lettering, but I do have
Ooh,
a Phantom pump gun that I've kept throughout the years, and
nice.
that's about the only thing I got left for the most part. All the trophies I got rid of all but like two of them. They end up rattling apart and falling apart. They just yeah.
Sure.
So, but yeah, trophies aren't
Well, you got to
important.
come out to one of these 10-man events, man.
I've
I think
seen
you'd have a
them.
lot of fun.
Man, it's rough, dude. It's one, my knees are just shot.
Yeah.
It's hard, and I don't. So I don't do it. I don't have an interest in playing anymore. I loved it when I was young. That was my calling. I thought this
Mm,
is what I was put on earth to do. you know, and then it was all about the team. And since the team is gone, like I played because of the team. You know, I wanted the
Yeah.
team to do good. When I went to tournaments, I didn't want to hang out with people from another team. I didn't want to talk to
Hmm.
them. And I mean, obviously, hindsight, I could have been, you know, I could have done it different, you know, but that was just
Sure.
my vision. It was the people in my huddle; those are the only guys I cared about, you know. So, and now that that's gone, it's just not the same. So, yeah, yeah. I mean,
So
I'm
what,
not,
what
I'm not in the industry, and I don't work in paintball, so it's, you know, yeah.
yeah. So what advice would you give to a player that wants to build a team and get to the top of paintball?
Woo. Um, Man, nowadays, if you're gonna do it on your own, you don't have a ton of money, make all your bullets count. Don't go out and just you know do random stuff. Make all the time you spend on the field worth something. So whether it's
Hmm.
playing against a person one on one and analyzing every time you go up against that person, um, learn what you can, keep your mouth shut, and watch and listen to the people that know. Watch every game that you can. Don't sit there and eat nachos and shoot the shit with your friends, but pay attention to what's going on, what those guys are saying, why they're saying it, what they're doing, why they're doing it. Just be a sponge and soak up everything you can, you know, and obviously play as much as you can. You know, I was playing 2-3 times a week. You know, middle of
Hmm.
summer, 95 degrees. I was still out there when everybody else was at home. You know, so, yeah.
So what replaced paintball for you? You have to have another outlet.
My family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it getting
Responsibilities.
is it getting too dark?
No, you're good.
No, okay. But yeah, no, my family, my wife Rachel, I was dating her when Strange was kind of winding down, and and once that happened, she, you know, obviously we got married, and as soon as our first kid came, it, you know, a switch flipped, and I'm the way I view it now is that if I'm not working to put food on the table, all that extra time is going to them because you can't
Yeah.
buy time. And I know, you know, a lot of guys, they sacrifice weekends, and those are weekends that you're
Sure.
taking away from your kids, and you'll never get those weekends back. And that's just, yeah, it's
Priorities.
hard. Yeah, yeah, you know,
Got
so
it.
yeah. Yep.
Cool, BJ. Well, what would you say you're most thankful for that paintball's given you?
Um, Really just a broader outlook on life as far as how I view people, how I view different countries. You know, I got to travel overseas, and the way they handle their business and the individuals over there are different from Americans. I got a chance to see all that, and I was definitely grateful for that. And of course, you know, my friends that I still have today through that. Um, that's always a bonus. You know, good
Yeah.
people. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
BJ, thank you so much for your time here. Is there anything that you want to part with for the paintball
Um,
community?
can I give a quick plug and then
Of
that
course.
advice? So
Yeah.
I'm currently, so not only my family, but in that I've taken up firearms training. So I shoot guns every weekend. I heard Matty Marshall's kind of into that now. I could be wrong.
A lot of us are. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, um, down here in Florida, I just want to say hi to all the JTAC Ultra Goons. These are the guys I shoot with. That's my community. And at the apex of that community is Barrel and Hatchet Training and Wiseman Company. If you guys are in paintball and you like firearms, look those two guys up. They are a wealth of knowledge, and they will put you on the right path, whether it's gear or just training and how to train, they're legit.
Cool.
So yeah, that's my new community. So yeah, very
Right
happy.
on.
But yeah,
And you
other
said
than
you have
that,
some dad advice?
yeah, love your kids, man. Don't waste any second, especially the first couple years. You younger guys that are gonna
Yeah.
get kids, you know, play your paintball, but if you can bring the kids, bring the kids. Don't miss a moment with them. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good. Thanks, BJ. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.